This video is to help you prepare to complete work for the class and also to turn in homeworks. Uh, Basically, you will need the following. You will need, if you have a PC, you will need to download Java SE if you don't already have it. So here you can go to this link. I will show it to you later. Also, you will need Eclipse, and that's the client that we use to turn in work and actually to code and compile the code. And you guys are gonna create videos explaining the homework. And for that, we use this recording software. It's free and it's safe. It comes from a good company, respectable company. We use it in education here at the college, so you can trust it. I will show you that link also as well. In terms of the homework, I have some rules. You make sure that you paste the rubric and grade it. I'm gonna show that later. Um, if you create when you create the video with audio, if you have a video with no audio, it's minus 30. If you have no video, it's minus 30 technically. Make sure you turn in everything, which is the video and the code. And also you will have only one attempt to submit. And I don't give reattempts. So make sure that everything is complete. So let's get ready and we're gonna work into turning a sample homework, which is something easy, printing your name. But the focus in all the things that you guys need to prepare in order to turn in code. When you go into Blackboard and you go into the homeworks section here, I have laid out some of these links. So the first one is the Java SE Standard Edition. So when you click in this link, it will take you to this page. And technically all you have to do is just download the Java platform, this first option. Okay, so you download that and install that. I'm not going to go through the download and installation process. Then going back into the homework, you will need to download Eclipse IDE. That's basically the client. So you can choose the latest version. So when you click in here, you will go to Eclipse. And if you have a Windows system, you can change to Windows. So you will need Eclipse Standard. And you can have either the 32 or the 64-bit version. So you have to find out in your computer if you have a 32-bit or a 64-bit. Technically, just if you don't know, you can download the 64-bit. That's your safest bet, and the system will tell you you cannot just download this. If your computer is new, 95% chance is 64-bit computer. You can change also to Mac OS, same deal. 32-bit, 64-bit. If your computer is new, uh, well, 95% or 99% chance is 64-bit computer. So you can go with this one. And then Jing will be here, so you can either get the Windows or the Mac version. Right, so I'm just gonna walk you through that. Okay, so let's go with the homework. So when you go into laboratories assigned, you will see here that I have a rubric. So technically you will need to put this in your code. Okay, and this here, if you follow this and you grade this, you should be really close to having a good homework. You will have an example of a good homework in here in number 6, so you can see this video. Okay, and here in this section, pretty much, I ask you to create a strategy. It is not required, but if you want to code well, I highly recommend following these instructions. Okay, and then as I do examples, I will go through this process. That's technically how I learn how to do this and make it easier for me. Okay, so let's go to the first section, chapter number 2. That's your first lab, or chapter number 1, depending on the semester that you're at. And we're gonna do a homework, right? So in Eclipse, uh, technically I'm just gonna create a new class. Okay, that's a new file. So you should have seen the lesson before doing this. So I'm just gonna put here like sample homework. So actually no, the first here you should put like lab and the lab number, uh, underscore your last name. Okay, so that's kind of like the standard. So if you look in the rubric, you should see in item number 1 you have lab 0, item number 2 lab 0, your last name and the exercise, right? So if we follow this format, it should be lab 0, uh, my last name, and then exercise 0 dash, or let's go with 1 dash 01. That's an example. Okay, so I'm gonna have the main class. Okay, we need to have a folder, so I'm just gonna put it here. Okay, and here I will have my class, right? So you can see here that is lab 01 Falu exercise 101, and you can see that it matches my class name. And here the homework says that I just need to print my name, right? So dot out dot print line, okay, en, okay, and then finish. Okay, and if I run it, it should run. Okay, you should see the sample lesson in order to understand how this works. But let's go into what the homework actually is. Okay, or how to turn it in. So you will need the rubric. So you can see here this section where it starts with this slash forward slash. You need to copy this and put it in your code. Right. So I'm gonna highlight this. I'm gonna right click, copy, and then I will put it here just at the beginning of my code. I'm gonna go with paste. Right click and paste. You see? So make sure that it's green. Okay, because that's a block comment. Also part of the lesson that you should see before doing this. And you can see here that the rubric is pasted, so you should follow each one of these guidelines. Like the rubric is scored by the student, so yes, I'm doing that. So it's just gonna give me 2 points. And it says you name your program with this format. Okay, and then here I say okay, I did that, so it's gonna give me 2 points. Your program compiles without errors and warnings. Yes, I did that, so I'm gonna give me 12 points. Your program tells the user what the program does. So here you need to inform the user what the program does. So technically, I need another line just here. Okay. Saying this program writes my name. Okay, and then I'm gonna put a column. That way, when you run your program, it tells me what the program does. Okay, I don't have to guess. Okay, so I just did that. So I'm gonna put 4 points. Your program runs and is indicated in the exercise. Make sure you're identifying address or objectives in the exercise. Yes, it does that. So I'm gonna give myself 20 points. Okay, your code is easy to read because you follow the programming style outlined in section 216. Okay, so here technically actually they're looking in your book. Let me go to actually section. I need to change that, but they're looking at section 1.1.10, or depending on the version that you have, programming style and documentation. Okay, so programming style and documentation, these are some of the aspects that you need to follow. So here I'm looking at proper indentation and spacing. So you see this is a bad style and this is a good style where you have like proper spacing. Also, I'm going to be looking at block styles. Okay, so you can look at this section in your book, and you can see here that in this case it's not consistent. Right? You see the curly bracket in here. It should be down like in this format. Right? So this is easy to read. It follows indentation. Also, you need to make sure that your code is indented, right? So if you look at your code and you have it like this and like this, that is not good indentation. Okay. So one thing that you can do is press Control A and then press Control I, and then you see that everything gets indented properly. Okay, so I did that. I'm gonna give myself 10 points. Naming conventions at the beginning, that is not that important, but later we're gonna stress on the fact in how you're gonna name variables. So you need to follow that. In this case, that doesn't apply, so I'm gonna give myself 10 points. Documentations. Okay, so here I'm just gonna document and put comments and say this section prints my name. Okay, and here you follow. This is a line comment. You can do line comments or you can do block comments. You know, if you do like forward slash star star, actually just one star, and then put here this is a block comment. You see, you see here it has like multiple lines. So you can do either this one or this one. I will mark run for now if you use what I call a Java doc comment. So in this case, you can see that it's blue. Okay, so we are not doing this for now. We're gonna do this in chapter 5. Don't use this style until chapter 5. Okay, and then we'll talk about that. Okay, so I commented my code, so I'm gonna give myself 10 points. Okay, and then it's efficiently written, right? So make sure that your code does what it's supposed to do in a logical manner. So I'm gonna give myself 20 points. And then you are able to understand everything and explain it. So if you are able to understand everything, you give yourself 10 points. So you see here is your code. Okay. So how do you submit this? Well, the easiest way, without going into much detail, I'm just gonna go here to my Windows Explorer. Okay, I'm gonna go in my documents. I'm just gonna put a folder. I'm gonna create a folder. I'm gonna say to submit. You can find other ways in doing this. Okay, so I'm gonna say to submit to computer science. Okay, and then I'm just gonna double click in this guy. You can go to Eclipse, left click and hold and drag that. Let me put that to Windows. Left click and hold and drag, and then bring it to that folder. You see now you have the file in there, and then you can look up for this folder and submit it. I will talk about submitting work in a second. Okay, so I'm done. The rubric is graded. I have my code in here. Okay, so now I need to create my video. So you guys install Jing, and I'm gonna run Jing now. Once you are done with the semesters, you can uninstall it. But when you run Jing, you should have a song. Sorry. Let me just get Jing again. Okay, so now it's loading up. So you should have like a round sun in here. So you can click on this and then open a window. Left click and hold. Open a window. And then you should have at the bottom here a toolbar. So you will do capture video. Okay, so you will capture video and then we'll start. And then you start recording. You have 5 minutes to record. So you record everything. You go through your code. Uh, and then let me see, I lost my code here. I did. Um, so hold on, I need to. Yeah, I lost my code. It doesn't matter. Let's just get a sample here. So you can just go through the code, explain it, and then once you are done, you're gonna click the stop button or the finish button. Okay, and then that will give you a preview. Okay, you can name it. Say this is lab 01 Palu exercise 101. And then here you will see a share button, share via screencast. You click on the share button and they will start uploading. Okay, I'm gonna wait a while. Okay, and now you will have this guy. So you're gonna click on view on screencast and it will give you a link to the video. This link is what you need to submit. Okay, so you can preview your video, make sure that it runs.
And then you start recording. You have 5 minutes to record. So you
Okay,
record everything.
good.
You go through your code.
So it works.
Uh,
Okay, so now you will give me this link. So where do you submit that? So here you will go to your lab, your particular lab, and you will, the day before the due date, it will show a link to submit. Again, these are the instructions. Make sure that you follow them. So you're gonna click here to submit. Okay. You can see the rubric, right? So if you click on view rubric, this is pretty much how I'm gonna grade you, right? So and these are the points. So make sure that you look at this. Okay. So this is the rubric. But if you follow the rubric on the code, you will do fine. Um, you can then start attaching files. You go to browse my computer, and then you look for the file. I had that in documents, and then to submit to computer science. Okay, so you can see here I have my file. You can attach more files if necessary. And here in the comments, feel free to include the link. So I'm gonna copy that, copy, and then paste it here. I need to do Control V. You need to paste it here. It doesn't have to be a link, HTML link. This is fine. Okay. Do not submit the file. Okay. It's the link what I need. Okay. Also, do not zip multiple files in a zip folder. Okay. Just submit individual files. Okay. Because it's easier for me. Make sure that you have your mental checklist, that your link works with audio and video, and that you have it complete. If you want, like, take this, paste it again, and make sure that you have the right link, that you submitted all the files. Then after that, you hit your submit button. Okay. If you have questions, don't hesitate to contact me. Thank you.